Hi there, welcome back to the YouTube channel. I'm back again. Hope you enjoyed Christmas week last week and the videos last week, but we're back on track this week and we're still hitting random commanders up. But today's one, Nalaar, Consul of Revival. Red and white for a 2/3 human artificer, and Thopters you control have haste. And whenever you play a land from exile or cast a spell from exile, you get a 1/1 colourless Thopter artifact creature with flying. So, we've got kind of a type-all deck that involves Thopters. We've also got a deck that cares about having our cards exiled and played from exile once our commander hits play. Fun, different, and an interesting take from my point of view on red-white. And, you know, Aftermath has given us a few interesting commanders. This one, the one I've been more interested in since, well, the random button brought it up. So here we go. Here's what today's deck looks like. Before we go any further, usual warning for this, tabletop, quite expensive, one card, take it out, drops the cost down, we'll get to it and I'll point out when we get there, but you can probably work out what it is since we're in red-white. Anyway, creatures. Started with an oldie favourite of mine, Hangerback Walker. Haven't played much of it recently. Great when it dies, gives us all those Thopters, and we can put counters on it all the way through. That's fine by me, good fun. Ornithopter's a Thopter. So, you know, has haste, but I'd just have it in as a bit of a laugh, just as a, hello, let's have a 0/2 blocker. No other reason for it to be here, to be perfectly honest. But so if you want to take it out, feel free, but that's just me having a joke with myself. Conspiracy Theorist is the first one. Whenever it attacks, you may pay one, discard a card if you do draw a card. And whenever you discard one or more non-land cards, you may exile one of them from your graveyard. If you do, you may cast at this turn. So gives you a way to get some food into play to get your extra Thopters off with Nalaar if you need to. Fairgrounds Patrol, just exile it from your graveyard eventually to get a Thopter, so another haste attacker. A bit of a no-brainer not to have in it the Sensei of the Sun in. Whenever you attack, discard a card, put +1/+1 counter on it. On target attacking creature and it gains trample to the end of the turn. And whenever you discard a card, exile the top card, la-di-da-di. Complete no-brainer with Nalaar. Loyal Apprentice, just because I want somewhere to get extra Thopters, made sense with this one. Ornithopter of Paradise, another one of my, not so much of a joke card, this one helps us with our mana, so another bit of ramp in the red-white deck, which is nice. The Boros Strike Captain is here because of the battalion side of it coming in from the clue set, and whenever it and at least two other creatures attack, exile top card of our library, you may during any turn you attacked with 3 or more creatures, you may play that card. So, you know, basically it triggers itself, assuming you attack with 2 other creatures and not just it. So, nice one from the clue set, liked it. Brea's Apprentice enters the battlefield with Thopter and then gives us a couple of opportunities what we can do. We can sacrifice artifacts off to exile cards or sacrifice them off to pump a creature. Good shout. Gear Up Gearcrafter comes into play with a Thopter. Yep, okay, 3 mana for 3 power toughs, 3 power. Yeah, I'll cope with that. Because we are exiling everything, no brainer but to have Lalila the Blades Reforged in here. Master Trinkerer comes in as well to pump up our Thopters and then give us a way of creating some first servos if we need them. The original version of Nalaar from Kaldesh comes in here. Target artifact gets +1/+0 for expensive fire breathing, or we can sacrifice an artifact to make sure a creature can't be blocked this turn. It's one or the other. Pilgrim's Light as a Thopter that lets us go and get our land. Same with Sky Scanner is a Thopter that just lets us draw a card. The Thopter Engineer comes into play to give us a 1/1 Thopter and give all our artifact creatures haste just on their own. Atuji the Blazing Sky makes an appearance so we can exile the cards to feed up Nalaar. Harry Dronesmith comes in to give us more Thopters at beginning combat on our turn. We have to attack with this one because it gains haste and we have to sacrifice it at the end of the next end step. So, you know, repeatable 1/1 in the air. Not the worst thing in the world. Krenko's Buzz Crusher is quite fun though, coming from Murders at Karloff Manor. Enters the battlefield and takes out a non-basic land that's annoying us. Everyone's non-basic land, including our own. And go and get a basic land. So, yeah, a bit of fun. The other version of Pia and Kieran Nalaar enters the battlefield with 2 Thopters into play, and then we can sacrifice an artifact and basically, well, for 3 mana, sack an artifact and shock something, well, creature or player anyway. So, a little bit narrow, but 4 mana for 4 worth stats is fine by me. Rose is in because we like having things where we can get junk tokens to make raw red mana. Siege Gang Command Lieutenant comes in to give us more goblins once we've got PNLR in play. Thopter Architect gives a creature flying when an artifact enters our control. From there we get, I'm in a red deck. Bonehorn Dracosaur is obviously going to be in, but it does exile cards, so it does help with PNLR. Deruju and Hazaret are also in as well. When we look at attack with these two, look at the top 6 cards of our library, exile a legendary creature from among them, put the rest on the bottom of the library under control. Until the end turn, you may cast that card without paying its mana cost. We have a few legendary creatures, a bit like Dragonhawk coming in, and Hori, Ghostforge, and Pelarg, and Quintos, and all sorts of things coming up. So yeah, we have a few targets. Anyway, Dragonhawk, we all know what this does by now. Exile top X cards, where X is the number of creatures with power 4 greater. Play those cards this turn, and at the beginning of each end step, Dragonhawk deals 2 damage to each opponent for each of these cards that's still exiled. Okay. Hori, Ghostforge, gives our spirits +1/+1. Haven't got many spirits yet, but whenever another non-token creature we control dies, exile it. If we do create a token that's a copy of that creature, except it's a spirit, and whenever this creature leaves the battlefield, return the exiled card to your graveyard. Okay, happy with that. Nice. Flarg lets us exile things. That's fine. We play them. We PNLR away in the play with this. We get a couple of spells each turn, assuming we've still got 3 opponents. A couple of Thopters each turn, and a couple of spells, assuming we've still got 3 opponents anyway. Quintoris, the Lawmaster, beginning of our end step, exile target non-land, non-creature card from our graveyard and create a 3/2 red and white spirit creature token. And then we can sacrifice a spirit, choose target card, exiled with Quintoris, and play it this turn. If it's been put into a graveyard, put it on the bottom of the library in opponent's stead instead. Etali, we all know, we all love it, it's here. And then finally, to finish it all off, Thopter Assembly. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control no Thopters other than Thopter Assembly, return the assembly and put 5 1/1 colours Thopter artifact creature tokens into the battlefield. Thank you. The Planeswalker version of Quintoris is here as well. Mainly to do the -3 and Discover 4 where we can, although it does protect itself, so and casting spells from exile does mean we deal 2 damage to each opponent and gain a couple of lives, so can't complain too much. Spells, Glimpse of Tomorrow, all these come from exile. Glimpse of Tomorrow and Wheel of Fate, that helps us out no end. Obviously with PNLR in play, a little bit annoying that you shuffle all permanents you own into your library, but the trigger still goes on the stack when you play it from exile, so you're still in it with a 1/1. But then you get shuffled in, but it counts. So, swings and roundabouts. Wheel of Fate is just Wheel of Fate. And then we have Path to Exile as target remover. Jessica's Wheel for, red mana and cards. Chroma's Wheel to eventually hit the Alpha Strike, which I always talk about. And then a few things that just get suspended and go back into exile. So Arcblade is an expensive way of doing a shock every 4 turns. Rousing Refrain is an expensive way of getting a whole load of mana every 4 turns, but it's worth it. Season of the Bold is just great, getting some treasure tokens or exile in top 2 cards. The best thing I found to do in this deck with the Paul's worth of energy we get is the exile 4 if we've got a reasonable mana, a number of lands in play, or artifact ramps. Exile the 4 and then have a tap treasure token and just hope you can cast everything next turn. So, but it seems to work out. Call Fall for Tempesters here, because obviously Cascade, and Cascade means that we do get double triggers off PNLR. Heroes Remember is just a bit of life. 10 turns to suspend this. Another card you can easily cut. I want to play it because I want to go old school. But, at the end of the day, 9 mana to gain 20 life is doable sometimes. Finally, Apex of Power, 10 mana to exile the top 7 cards of our library and then cast them this way. If this spell was cast from your hand, add 10 mana of any one colour. So, see what you exile first, then add the mana. So, hey hum. Right, ramp. Chrome Mox, Mox Tantalite, Soul Talisman, start the train off. Then we have Retrofit of a Foundry to add more servers and Thopters when we need to. Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, more ramp. Junk Jet to give us more junk tokens, and I do like actually the fact that you can sacrifice an artifact to double equip creature's power until the end turn. It's been quite effective for me since Fallout hit with this card. More ramp, well, I call it ramp with Pearl Medallion and Ruby Medallion and Talismanic Conviction and Commander Sphere, they're all in. And then we have a few little bits at the end. Thopter Shop comes in as well. Whenever one or more artifact creatures you control die, draw a card, triggers once a turn, you can pay 2 and a white to make a Thopter. That's nice. Whirly Maker lets you pay 4 mana of any colour to make a Thopter. Memory Vessel is coming in as well. Exile. Each player exiles the top 7 cards of their library until your next turn. Players may play cards they exiled this way and can't play cards from their hand. What you need to do with Memory Vessel is basically play it on one turn, hope it survives, and at the beginning of your upkeep exile it and do it that way so you get the benefit. Yes, it gives everyone else the same thing, but you have to be a little bit careful and play around it. But when it works, so, you know, go for it. And then finally, Chimley, the Inner Sun, because I want another way of getting something automatically exiling spells, and this works with the Discover ability, so yay. Few enchantments. Expedited Inheritance is global. Whenever a creature is dealt damage, its controller may exile that many cards from the top of their library. Bear that in mind, but it gives you a way of getting extra exile spells on the go, so you can cast things with Nalaar and get your Thopters. Yotisha Declares War is in because it gives us Thopters, and then we can tap artifacts to deal damage to a creature or planeswalker, and then we can choose one of our artifacts to become a 4/4 creature until the end of turn. So a little bit of fun with this one. Turns our 0/2 into a 4/4 for one turn eventually, so I'll go with that. Obviously, if we need the 4/4, we can just read ahead, I should say, and turn one of the Thopters into the 4/4 on the turn this happens, or skip turn 1 to go to turn 2. Just see what you need on the board at the time. Wild Wasteland also comes in from Fallout. At the beginning of your upkeep, exile top 2 cards of your library. You may play those cards this turn. Lovely. Turn 2 PNLR, turn 3 Wild Waste, turn 4 start making Thopters with a bit of luck. Nahiri's Resolve is also in. Gives all our creatures +1/+0 and have haste, and then we get to exile things and bounce things around. We have a few creatures that comes into play effects, so we might as well use it up. And then Virtual Loyalty, get our Knight token, get some 1/1 counters on the go once we get the actual Virtual Loyalty into play. Lands wise, 36 in the deck, all the red-white lands you'd normally expect. We've got Reliquary Tower, we have got Temple of the False God, and the card I mentioned earlier, if you cut Plateau out, it brings this cost to this deck down to a lot more reasonable level. That and probably Jessica's will. We'll just quickly scroll up to the top and flick the prices over to tabletop. Don't think there's anything beyond that. Yeah. Jessica's Will, Chroma's Blade, so that's $30. Chimley, the Inner Sun's $45. Erid Messer, and then $327 for Plateau. See what I mean? Easy to do. Anyway, that is my take on PNLR. It's nice to think about a deck where you actually get white in it and you haven't got to worry about just, oh, I've got red cards with Thopters. White gives us a few more options, which is quite nice for this. There are things missing. There's no Smothering Tithe, etc. Don't think you need them with the deck. But you do need to make Thopters and playing things from exile. Maybe there's an argument for Smothering Tithe. Maybe there isn't. You could take Ornithopter out and put Smothering Tithe in if you wanted to. But it's up to you. It's your call. But that's it for today. Hope you've enjoyed today's video. If we start the build up to New Year's now, aren't we? So, hey, that's all good. Hit the subscribe button down below. As I recorded this one, we hit 567, I want to say 77 subscribers here on YouTube. So please, if you can, love it if you hit the subscribe button. Get me a little bit closer to maybe 600 by the end of the year if I haven't got there by the time you see this video. If you want to see me play the decks, there'll be a stream Thursday night this week. Look down below, there's a link on Twitch. You can come and see me there and stream away there. But for now, thanks very much. I'll be back tomorrow with a deck requested by one of my moderators that I promised to do an update on, and I've just realised I haven't, so that will be happening tomorrow. But for now, thanks for watching. Take care. See you in tomorrow's video. Bye.